into work, because typically after I go into work, I'm talking to a lot of people and having a lot of interactions, and it can be overwhelming with the kind of job that I have. Even though I love my job, it can be taxing if I don't prepare my mind and my heart before I go in. So sometimes I have a time of like personal development or whatever. I might listen to something or just stay in the silence. But today I figured I would, in the about maybe like 20, 15 minutes I have left, I figured I would come and talk to you guys. I'm gathering my trash from my breakfast here, about learning how to listen. Now, some of you don't know, and I'm going to probably start putting links on Facebook, I'm not sure, but some of you don't know that on Wednesday nights, I'm a part of this prayer group. Not a prayer group, but it's a prayer call. And every Wednesday night, for about maybe 10 to 20 minutes, I just go and, have like some kind of encouraging word for about, I think maybe 10 to 15 people that call in every week. But it's every day. It's called Command Your Day, or Command Your Evening, or afternoon, because this one in the morning, evening, and afternoon, or afternoon and evening, to go in order. But yeah, I was on the call last night, and I asked God before I started to speak, what is on your mind for me to talk to the people about today? And the thing that immediately came to my head was learning how to listen. Learning to be a good listener. What does it mean to know how to be a good listener? And so I was just thinking about it, and I was just talking, and I felt like Holy Spirit was giving me a lot of different insights on what it means to be a good listener. Now, a lot of us, and I'm speaking about myself, I'm definitely talking about myself here. Some of us have the gift of gab, and we're good at talking, and we're good at communicating with people, and we like to talk. And a lot of times, if we are in the position to help people out with different issues, typically we are very quick to speak. And one of the phrases I heard last night, which is actually in the scriptures, even though I can't quote it verbatim right now, but I know it's in the scriptures, is being not as quick to speak and more quick to listen. And one of the things I've learned, I believe, that helps with our communication with one another is being good listeners. Now, some of you, I know since there's different people watching in different seasons of their lives, I understand that some of you, sometimes I might believe that, you've heard this before, or of course, being a good listener is good, but when you really think about our current society and how much division it is or how much division we're experiencing in our world right now, with differences in ideas, differences and attitudes, and how things should be and how things should be run, I feel like what's really going on is a lack of communication. There's misunderstandings everywhere. People are not understanding each other. They're not getting each other. And I believe that the primary reason for this is because we are not being good listeners. We're not listening to one another. We're not listening to our neighbor. We're not listening to our brother. We're not listening to our sister. We're not listening to our children. We're not listening to our parents. We're not listening to anyone in our lives. I believe that the reason why friendships get broken up a lot of the times is because of a miscommunication. Because of miscommunication and misunderstanding. And I know one of my huge pet peeves is feeling like I'm being misunderstood by somebody. So sometimes we are more reactionary in certain situations than we are people who can sit and be still and actually listen to God and see what He actually has to say about that person. And one of the things I realized is that the best thing that we can do to really, one of the best things that we can do to really up communication in our society is to be good listeners, to listen to the people that we talk to actually listen to them, like really listen to them. Not necessarily being impressed with what we're going to say next while they're talking. And I have been guilty of this too. So everything I'm saying, I'm talking to myself. This is not just me preaching at people, put it that way. So everything I'm saying is definitely stuff that I've been guilty of in my past, and I'm getting better. And that's what these videos are going to be about. They're going to be about just getting better and listening, and not being so quick to, assert our opinions all the time. There's a lot of division going on in our world, and there's a lot of issues happening as far as people's ability to really understand one another. And one of the things that I believe will remedy that is the ability to listen. Now, when you're talking to a person, do you really listen to what they have to say? Or are you more impressed with what you think you're going to say next? Are you really listening to every word? And I'm talking about people in your life. I mean, I'm also talking about people who are not necessarily that close to you as well. But I'm also talking about, I'm mainly talking about the people who are close to you. Do you really listen to those people? If you're a parent, do you really listen to your children? If you are a teenager watching this, do you really listen to your parents? And I mean by not listen, like do what they say, but really listen to their words, to try to understand who they are, to try to understand their heart. My question to you is, do you really listen to those in your life? Like what they are actually saying? Do you listen to their heart is what I mean. And some people might be asking, how do you do that? Well, this is what I've been doing, and I've been practicing this, is that when I'm in a conversation with somebody, especially with the job that I have since I'm in sales, if I'm talking to a person, and what I really try to do is I try to listen to every word before I interject. I try to look them in the eye as much as I can while I'm talking to them and while I'm not, and then like calm my mind, because I'm the kind of person that is constantly thinking of things. My mind is constantly going. So what I try to do is I try to calm my mind when I'm talking to a person, and actually empty my mind so I can actually see and hear that person's heart. Now, some people might think that's a little corny, but what it has done, and I've seen the fruit of this, is it has allowed me to really understand people and pay attention to them. I pay attention to the people in my life, and I feel like what that does is that causes me to really understand them. I think I understand their needs, and I feel like the Holy Spirit gives me wisdom and understanding on who they really are. And I feel like that's why I'm a pretty good judge of character, because I spend time listening to people and paying attention to them. And that was the wisdom tool that I believe God gave me, was He allowed me to understand that the reason why we're experiencing, and one of the huge reasons why we're experiencing huge amounts of division and misunderstanding in our culture today, is because we refuse to listen. Now, some of you might be conservative, some of you might be liberal, and you might lean left or right on the political spectrum. And how often is it that when someone has an imposing opinion, you, as soon as you hear the talking point that you don't agree with, you start getting reactionatory about it. You don't necessarily try to take time to see why this person believes the way that they do, or try to see why they have the ideologies that they have, or what is it about them that gives them the desire to believe the way that they do. And we don't do that. So there's a lot of division. I mean, as soon as a person hears that, you're for guns, the other person might get upset. And the other person, as soon as they hear that you are against guns, the other person on the other side of the argument gets upset. And so that's just one example. I'm not even going to be talking about that, but what I'm mainly talking about is the ability to listen to one another, to not be so quick to speak. I believe that our communication and who we are, as far as our, I'll put it another way. I believe that our ability to have and sustain friendships and to sustain relationships in our lives and not burn as many bridges would definitely lessen the more we start communicating properly with people, the more that we start listening to people. And by the way, thank you for all you guys who are joining. God bless you all. Thank you for those of you watching on the Prophet and Apostles Network. I'm just talking. This is being recorded on Facebook Live, so there are people who are joining in on live. So that's I'm just talking to those people. So I know that you're not going to see the comments on the when the show is posted on the Prophets and Apostles Network, or the JERICHO-WAY TV network on RACO. So, what was I saying? I believe that the more that we learn how to listen to one another, the less division we will have in our relationships and in our lives, the less strife we would have in our dealings with people. I do believe that this is definitely going to be a thing where we're going to experience more and more freedom in life, I believe, the more that we choose to communicate with each other properly. And that means being a good listener. Because I believe that when we become better listeners, I believe that we will become better speakers. Because once we become better listeners, we will have more wisdom on the person or the people that we're talking to. So when we speak, we will speak with more wisdom and more fervor for that person, because we would understand that person more. My challenge to you guys, as you guys are watching this, is to be more steadfast in your listening. I want you to do this to the next person you talk to, because I'm pretty sure the next person you talk to is going to be someone either close to you or someone that you have in your life, has been in your life for a long time, someone you're close in relationship with. I encourage you guys to listen to those people when you have your next conversation. Listen to each other. Husbands and wives, mothers and sons, fathers and daughters, cousins, uncles, business associates, whoever you are in relationship with, your coworkers, everybody that you have some kind of communication with. I urge you to listen to them, because I promise you that you will actually find out more about those people than you ever thought you knew. I'm telling you, even the people who have been in your life for a very long time, I'm almost certain that you are going to learn more about those people. I mean, even the people that I currently live with, the more I listen to them and the more I try to understand their hearts and not be so quick to speak, I've actually learned more about them. And I've lived with these people for a long time, and I've known them for even longer. So it's like you're going to begin to understand and see things more than you ever have before. This is going to be an actual adventure for you, because you're going to begin to see your friends in new lights, and you're going to begin to understand more about each other than you ever have. So that's my urge. That's my that is my charge for you guys today, is to learn how to listen and learn how to be better. Yeah, learn how to be better listeners. When you talk to somebody, talk to them with compassion. Wait till they're done with their sentence fully before you respond. Wait till they're done with their full thought before you respond, so the communication can be full. And try to remember what you're going to say, even if that person is long-winded, but don't be so impressed with what you're going to say next that you actually lose out on what the person is actually saying to you. And I promise you, this is going to be a door opener for you. More doors are going to open, more opportunities, and you're going to know more. You're going to have more wisdom, because you're going to know the people in your life a lot better than you ever have. So, God bless you guys today. That's about all the time I have to be with you guys. Sorry for missing out on last week. Just didn't have a topic, and I didn't want to just BS the camera. Come on here before you guys and not necessarily have anything to say of substance, because I just wasn't. I just didn't last week, but more. I'll put it before I end. I want to pray for you guys. God, I thank you, Lord, that you are going to give every person who's watching me today the ability to be better listeners, that you're going to allow them to understand who they are, that when they're talking to a person, they will not necessarily be so quick to speak, but they will be more quick to listen and then speak when the time calls for it. God, I thank you, Lord, that you're going to allow them to understand how to communicate better. Because once we learn how to communicate better, I believe that the amount of strife and the amount of division that we're experiencing in our culture currently will lessen to exponential degrees. God, I thank you, Lord, right now for freedom and understanding that we don't necessarily have to be insecure, thinking that or trying to fluff up our egos by constantly having to have something to say, but to be able to pay attention, have the wisdom to pay attention to their surroundings and to be good listeners. God, I thank you, Lord, for every person who's watching me, and I bless them in Jesus' name. Go forth, love people, listen to people. And I thank you guys for all coming on. But anyway, before I end, I'll see who came on, and I'll thank you guys. Rose Power Threat came on. Hopefully I pronounced that name correctly. There's Andrew. Hi, thank you, Andrew, for joining. Paul Cobb. Oh, my cousin Don got on. Ernest Nest Hardy, thank you for joining. Fran is on. Fran Banfield. Banfield. Thanks, Fran, for joining on. Kevin. Who else? Martha Hessler. And Lori Brian Tracy. God bless you. God bless you guys for coming on today. Actually, I am going to tag Big Shake so I can get more traction on this video. Maybe more people will see it. So God bless you guys. I will be talking to you guys again soon. Many blessings. Remember to be a good listener. Listen to the people in your lives. I'm telling you, you will begin to see more things about them than you ever thought imaginable in the past. So be encouraged, be blessed this wonderful Thursday. I should know this. I know that Wednesday was Mod Wednesday or Ash Wednesday. Thursday, I think Mod Thursday. Somebody write that in the comments. I know today is some kind of significant day. I should know these things. And then there's tomorrow's Good Friday, and Saturday. I'm not sure what Saturday is. It's the third day between Jesus being dead or something. And then Sunday is Resurrection Sunday, April 1st. So, which is also on April Fool's. That's interesting. It's on Easter is on April Fool's Day this year, but I don't know. Everything is different this year. But God bless you guys. I'm gonna get off of here before I say something stupid. I don't know. God bless you guys. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.